days to go in this incredible campaign, and I feel like we're on the edge of something big. So I'm thrilled that Jack Layton is back in town for a second time this campaign. But before we bring up Jack, let me introduce some more great members of our great team. Of course, Linda Duncan, New Democrat MP. I'm told she's doing a radio forum, but she will be here. Artem Medvedev, running in Edmonton Leduc. Kirk Oates, running in Calgary Southeast. Mike Scott in Edmonton Sherwood Park. Alan Parker in Crawford. Brian LaBelle in Edmonton St. Albert. Nadine Bailey in Edmonton Millwoods Beaumont. And now, let me hand it over to my good friend Louis Cardinal, who's running in Edmonton Centre. Thanks, Ray.
There's a lot of leadership out there today, folks. Ray has led the NDP in Alberta for 10 years. Linda's changed the color of federal Edmonton politics forever. And then there's this next guy. My friends, this election is about choosing leadership we can trust, to put our families first, to bring people together, to get things done. And there's just one leader who can deliver all that. My friend, our leader, Canada's next Prime Minister, Jack Layton!
Folks watching the Stanley Cup. I thought when he introduced Linda Duncan that someone had just scored a goal. It's just a great crowd here today, and let me ask you something. Do you think it's time to fix Ottawa? Do you think it's time for some leadership you can trust? Well, my friends, 32 days ago, I launched this campaign of ours just a few steps from Parliament Hill, and in my opening address to the nation, I talked about Janet right here in Edmonton and how she's caring for her mom with Alzheimer's, how she's drawing money from her hard-earned retirement fund just to get by. And I talked about how we're going to make life better for Janet and everyone else who's been left behind by Stephen Harper. And then I walked away from that podium and flew straight here to Edmonton to take on Stephen Harper. I gotta tell you, my friends, it is great to be back. It's great to be here where they used to say that change could never happen. It's great to be here where the people of Edmonton, Strathcona rallied behind Linda Duncan and made change happen. And you know something, folks? We've only just begun, because spring is here. And I'm feeling the winds of change all across this great country of ours. They're blowing in from BC, through Alberta and Saskatchewan, through Manitoba and Ontario. And they're coming from Atlantic Canada, Newfoundland and Labrador, New Brunswick and Nova Scotia, and from the great north of our country. The winds of change are even blowing strongly in Quebec. Everywhere I've been, Canadians are turning away from the same old scandals that they've seen, from the tired old debates, and Canadians are turning towards a better choice. They're turning towards leadership they can trust, and a vision of Canada's where families come first and nobody is left behind. You know, it's really about a vision, the vision we share here, all of us in this room and all across the country working on this amazing project of ours. It's a vision that brings people together. Partout où j'ai été, les Canadiens rejettent les vieux scandales. Ils rejettent les mêmes vieux débats. Partout où j'ai été, les Canadiens se tournent vers un meilleur choix. Vers un leadership digne de confiance et vers une vision du Canada où les intérêts des familles viennent en premier et où personne n'est laissé de côté. C'est une vision du Canada qui rassemble les gens. Because, my friends, for too long, Ottawa has put families at the end of the line. They always find room for more corporate giveaways, but they never find time to fix our frontline health services. For too long, your leaders have said one thing and have done another. And for too long, we've seen leaders promise to clean up the scandals, but they just replace them with scandals of their very own. In fact, for too long, we've had leaders who would rather divide Canadians than bring them together. And what's worse than any of this, my friends, for far too long, they've told you that this is the way it has to be. That this is the best that you could do. That at the end of the day, you had no choice. Well, in this election, Canadians are saying, we do have a choice. Canadians are saying in this election, it's time for a change. You know, folks, we live in the greatest country in the world. It was a country that was built through hard work and determination and the rock-solid belief that if we stick together, there is no challenge that we cannot overcome. It's the Canadian way. It's how our country was built. And it's time for Ottawa to live up to that Canadian spirit. My friends, we can do better. It doesn't have to be this way. And in this election, we do have a choice. Change is possible. And I'm getting the feeling that you are going to make it happen. You know, on the campaign trail, I've met Canadians from all walks of life, and they want better from Ottawa. Patients who are sitting on growing wait lists, wondering when they're going to get that health care they need. Or parents who are worried about how they're going to pay the bills and save for the future. Hard-working families who just struggle to keep from falling behind. And people like Janet and her aging mom here in Edmonton. These are the kind of stories that we're hearing all across the country from everyday people who aren't looking for Ottawa to fix everything. They just want practical solutions to give their families a break. They're looking for leadership that they can trust. And they're looking for leadership that will bring Canadians together for a change. Bringing people together in this country, rural and urban, young and old, every community and every province working together to build a better Canada. Well, that is exactly what New Democrats are going to give them. Now, you know, the old parties are spending the last week on the attack, as you may have noticed. They're kind of hoping they can drown out the voices for change. Are they going to drown out your voice? No! I didn't think so. Well, in the final days of this campaign, New Democrats are going to launch a few attacks of our own. My friends, we're going to attack healthcare wait times. I will attack doctor shortages. We will attack seniors' poverty. And we will tackle the crisis in retirement security. Just think about it. Whenever we were hungry, the seniors of today fed us. They built our communities. They built our economy. It's time we were there for them. Les vieux partis passent cette dernière semaine en mode d'attaque, en espérant faire taire la voix du changement à Ottawa. Eh bien, mes amis, en cette fin de campagne, le NPD va aussi passer à l'attaque. Nous allons attaquer au temps d'attente en santé. Nous allons attaquer au manque de médecins. Nous allons nous attaquer à la pauvreté chez nos aînés. Et nous allons nous attaquer à la crise des pensions. We're going to attack skyrocketing credit card bills and cell phone fees. And we're going to attack the ongoing inaction on climate change. We're going to clean up the scandals in Ottawa and get Ottawa working for you. That's my one simple promise to you in this campaign. It's an important one. Starting Tuesday morning, I will roll up my sleeves and get down to work and give your family a break. Because you deserve a Prime Minister you can trust, a Prime Minister who will work with others, a Prime Minister who will get things done, and I'm running to be that Prime Minister. But my friends, in these last few days, bringing change to Ottawa isn't up to me, it's up to you. It starts with a vote. That would be your vote. And so I want each and every one of you to ensure that you're there on May 2nd, marking your vote for change. But I need you to do more. I need you to convince friends. Are you ready to do that? I need you to convince families. I need you to convince your co-workers. Are you ready to help get them down to the polls and support the change that we can make happen here? I don't want you to leave a single thing to chance, because we're on the threshold of something very exciting. Vous avez un rôle à jouer dans ce changement. Ça commence avec un vote. Votre vote. C'est pourquoi je souhaite que chacun d'entre vous soit là le 2 mai. Que vous serez là pour voter pour le changement, pour convaincre votre famille et vos amis et leur demander de voter. Pour ne rien laisser à la chance. My friends, you can send a powerful message on Monday, May 2nd. Together, we can do this. In this election, we do have a choice. We can elect outstanding new Democrats like Louis Cardinal, like Ray Martin, like Artem Medvedev, and we can choose more doctors and nurses. We can choose stronger pensions. We can choose to give small business a break. And we can choose to give your household budget a break, too. Together, we can choose to bring change to Ottawa. Canadian families are looking for action, aren't they? Well, that's exactly what we're going to give them. Right from day one. You know where I stand. You know I'm a fighter. And I won't stop until the job is done. So friends, the winds of change are blowing. Let's go out there and make it happen. Thank you all very much. Travaillons ensemble et lâche-moi.
Holy crap, man. That guy's going to be Prime Minister. Like, I'm amazed to even say it, but I think it's true.